What if America had a law, Congress passed a statute that said, look, we don't care how you do it, states, but you need to increase your housing starts by 3, 4, 5% a year. Do it however you want to do it. If you do that, we will give you extra federal money. If you don't do that, we will take federal money away from you until you start doing it. Would that work?
Welcome back to the Capitol Watch. Today, we dive into a fiery and eye-opening Senate hearing where Senator John Kennedy goes head-to-head with a top economist to uncover the truth about America's housing crisis. What's really holding us back from building more homes, and who's to blame?
Senator Kennedy, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you all for being here. Professor Glazer, you're head of the Department of Economics at Harvard? No longer. But you've taught there since 1992. Correct.
I think you need to turn your microphone on.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
You did your PhD work at Chicago?
That's correct, sir.
Great school. You publish about 5 articles a year?
I don't know. I've published a few.
I appreciate your testimony because you not only talked about the problem, but you talked about possible solutions. No disrespect to anybody, but revamping our appraisal process or title insurance or talking about power imbalances is not going to get homes built, not in a free enterprise country. Our problem is supply, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And the main reason we have a problem with supply is because of land use regulation, isn't it?
I've been saying that for 25 years, Senator. Yes, I agree with that very strongly.
And land use, zoning, some would call it, is within the job description of, to some extent, state, but mostly local government. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
And Congress has a history, it seems to me, you can disagree, certainly, if you do, of just throwing money at the problem and trying to tell local government how to get more houses built. And local government takes the money and pushes back because politicians at the local level, they like to eat and live indoors too, and they like to get reelected, and they don't want to make anybody upset by changing land use regulation in a way to encourage more housing. Would that be a fair assessment? My words, though, not yours.
I will not disagree with any of those words, Senator.
Okay.
Local zoning laws are blocking new housing developments, and Congress can't fix it by just throwing money around. The system rewards local politicians for not building. Why? Because NIMBY politics win votes. What if we passed a law saying, states build 3 to 5% more housing every year, or lose federal money? Boom. That's the bold idea from north of the border. Incentivize growth or face consequences, a carrot and a stick. Could this work in the U.S.? Glazer thinks it might, but with some tweaks. We should target high output areas, not rural zones 200 miles away from job centers. Exactly. It's not just about how much we build, it's really about where we build. The focus should be on high-demand cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco. And no, Glazer warns, don't leave this to bureaucracies. The rules must be written clearly into law.
There's a plan that's been talked about in Canada. And what the Canadians have, they're talking about it. It hasn't been implemented, but the proponent of the plan, I've talked with Senator Warren about this, has said, look, we need to incent local government to increase housing starts, but we need to use a carrot and a stick. What if America had a law, Congress passed a statute that said, look, we don't care how you do it, states, but you need to increase your housing starts by 3, 4, 5% a year. Do it however you want to do it. If you do that, we will give you extra federal money. If you don't do that, we will take federal money away from you until you start doing it. Would that work?
If you're willing to champion such legislation, Senator, I'm willing to be behind you. I think there are challenges with that in the U.S. The difficulties of taking away spending that was already expected may be particularly hard. It may be easier to do with discretionary grants than with spending that's targeted. I also think it needs to be targeted not to the state's level of production, but to production in the most productive parts of the state. Right? We don't want California to meet its requirements by building in areas that are very far away from Los Angeles or San Francisco, and and so forth. But I think basically something that creates carrots and ideally sticks as well, that tries to encourage states to do the right thing. And from my perspective, the battleground of affordable housing is in places like the California state legislature. And I would love those legislators who want to do the right thing, who want to make California a state for outsiders, to be able to say, look, the federal government is pushing us in this direction too. Can we just not lose our spending for X? Can we do this? And I think that would be very powerful in the hands of state
Who would be best to decide the most productive areas to incent housing?
I would use Bureau of Economic Analysis numbers of output per capita. I don't think it's but this can be debated. We can lots of people. I would not hand it over to an agency though. I would put it directly in the legislation.
Do you think our problem in America with housing is caused by a power imbalance?
I'm not sure I know what that means.
Me
Senator.
neither. Me neither. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
What do you think? Should Congress force states to build more homes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if you want real reform. Share this video if you believe housing should be affordable for all. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful political moments every week. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay informed.